And so the reason why people take a swing in business, the reason why people ask for an opportunity in life, is because we think that on the other side of that fear is something that is actually business greater, more pleasurable, more exciting, more alive, on something more desirable than status quo. You have an outcome that you want to get. You have something you want to change. Keep us in status quo. You hold yourself back from pulling the trigger. All it wants you to do is just sit on the couch and do nothing. Because if you don't do nothing, you can't get hurt. You don't want to. But if you're walking out and about and traveling, and you're trying to get going places, you're going outside your comfort zone. Your body freaks out. It wants you to just go right back to the couch. The undesired outcome. It wants you to just retract, be recluse, and not deal with anything. And so what I want to share with you today is we don't progress. How do you take an action, right? That requires you who has a bodyguard. I think we all have emotional bodyguards. The fear that's holding you back. We have to realize. And the fear shows up differently to everyone. Bodyguard keeping us safe. For some people, the fear is versus when is the bodyguard keeping us out of a difference between when is the bodyguard keeping us knowing what you want, knowing what you want next level. When is it literally preventing us? The fear is from being successful. They're not sure because in order to be successful, they're not sure if the outcome is going to actually bring them what they're hoping to get. Right? Albert Einstein famously said that I hear a lot. That if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking about what if it doesn't go right? What if it goes and actually makes things worse? But think about that in the same situation after I invest. How often do you try to do the same thing over and have a difficult conversation? The same marketing campaign. Right? Try to do that something you can relate to. But one of the things that I've noticed is at some point it's very difficult. Maybe at some point they'll say yes to really see the opportunity in front of them when they see the obstacle waiting for the outcome. So one of the ways you're waiting on their yes, the power is in their hands. I want you to think about approaching it from that point. Imagine a baseball player, right? Baseball players, how the market responds, or how the customers respond, how the pitcher throws them the ball, works out. Someone gives them an opportunity. They're presented with an opportunity where they could score, they could have a big impact on the game, on the outcome of the game, and get a desirable outcome, or they could just be passive. They could just sit there, stand there, and then they throw the ball. Maybe they'll strike out by not even swinging, or maybe they'll get walked to first base by not even swinging. Right? Meaning they could be totally passive and they could still get some outcome, some kind of progress, or maybe no progress. But you know what is guaranteed if they're not going to swing? It's guaranteed that they're not going to make massive progress. It's guaranteed they're not going to actually make a big difference and a big impact that's really going to launch them to another level. Right? They might make a little bit, they might make no progress, they might make negative progress. But you're guaranteed that if you swing, either you'll strike out, get out, or you'll hit the ball. So, meaning, if you actually do swing, if you actually go for it, it's either going to be the same situation as if you didn't swing at all, as if you don't take that risk, you don't take that chance, or it's going to be a situation where you end up scoring because you actually get to make a difference in the game. So, for example, by actually swinging, if you hit the ball, you're guaranteed that there's some motion that's going on. Whether or not you actually get a run in, whether or not you actually make a direct impact from that game, next time you get to bat, you'll for sure be more likely to take a swing. Because you know the last time you swung, you actually hit the ball. Versus just standing there passively, waiting, hoping that something's going to change because you're trying to just play it safe. And so the reason why people take a swing in business, the reason why people ask for an opportunity in life, is because we think that on the other side of that fear is something that is actually even greater, more pleasurable, more exciting, more alive, more desirable than status quo. And so fear likes to keep us in status quo. Fear is like a bodyguard. It's all it wants you to do is just sit on the couch and do nothing, because if you don't do nothing, you can't get hurt. But if you're walking out and about, and you're traveling, and you're trying new things and going new places, you're going outside your comfort zone, your bodyguard freaks out and wants you to just go right back to the couch. Right? Wants you to just retract, be recluse, and not deal with anything. The problem is we don't progress when we let our bodyguard run our lives. Right? So anyone who has a bodyguard, now I think we all have emotional bodyguards that want to keep us safe, we have to realize, when is this the bodyguard keeping us safe, out of harm's way, versus when is the bodyguard keeping us out of success's way? When is the bodyguard keeping us from actually getting to that next level? When is it literally preventing us from being successful? Because in order to be successful, it requires something different or more than what we currently have, right? Albert Einstein famously said that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, that is the definition of insanity. But think about that in your life. Think about that in your business. How often do you try to do the same thing over and over again? You try the same marketing campaign. You try to do this, you ask the same person the same question. Maybe at some point it'll work. Maybe at some point they'll say yes. But you're often waiting for the outcome to come to you. Meaning you're waiting on their yes. The power is in their hands when you're approaching it from that point. The power is in the hands of how the market responds, or how the customers respond, or how the ad campaign works out. Meaning it's all passive. It's like you're waiting for the ball to come to you when you're waiting for that person to say yes, versus being proactive and trying a different approach. Where you're saying, you know what? He keeps pitching the ball to me, but I'm going to throw it back at him. I'm going to try a different approach of what he's doing. And so when you decide to swing, first thing to do to overcome, to enable you to really make that choice is, like I just said, you got to make a decision. The second thing you got to do is you have to imagine that there's something compelling. We all need to have a compelling vision, something that drives us, that we're pulled towards, not pushing ourselves, that we're pulled towards. Because if we're pushing ourselves, that uses up willpower, and willpower will run out. But if you're pulled towards something, if you're drawn towards something or someone, that is not willpower. That is this polar connection, or this magnetic connection that's bringing you towards them. And that is what drives you, where you don't need to just keep using up energy. You get exhausted by the end of the day. And so what you need to do is you need to actually think about, what is it that compels me to do this? Why does it matter if I make this difference? If I click that button to put forth that marketing campaign, if I say yes to taking on a loan, taking on a risk, if I ask for an opportunity that puts me in a vulnerable position where I might get rejected, where I might get a no, where it might not work out. It's true, it might not work out. But I can guarantee you that it definitely will not work out if you don't pull the trigger, if you don't try that. Pull the trigger on a marketing campaign, right? Pull the trigger on a business opportunity, on a decision to improve something, right? In a way that's good for you and good for others. Right? I just want to be clear when I say pull the trigger. But if you can create that compelling vision as step 2, where you can imagine that as a result of this, something in my life will be qualitatively better. It will be improved when I pull this trigger, when I go for it. Then it enables you to overcome your fear. Because fear is simply this. It's imagining that what will be is going to be worse than what currently is. And as long as what will be appears worse than what currently is, we're going to want to choose what is over what can be. So that's just one quick thought. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share, like it. If you want to see more, comment on, ask a question that you want to be answered, you want me to address. And tune in next week for the next episode of 5 to Thrive. See you next week.